When I was in middle school, I happened to come across my dad's chemistry textbooks from college, and I was teaching myself chemistry, and I learned about electrolysis, which it still is one of my favorite subjects, and it came in handy during the pandemic because I was making my own disinfectants. And I had done an experiment with electrolysis at home, but I was using batteries, and the experiment took days to get any sizable amount of product, and I was disappointed at that. And so I decided to up the stakes a little bit. I got a container of salt water, and I put the end of an extension cord in the container, and I plugged the other end of the cord into the wall. And before I knew it, the container went out of control. The electrolysis went out of control and filled the room with all sorts of toxic gases. And I couldn't unplug the cord or take the cord out of the salt water. I had to go to the basement to turn off the circuit breaker. And by the time I returned, everything in the experiment was charred. And I'm a little bit surprised that it made what I presume is chlorine gas, because I would have thought you needed very stable metals so that the metals did corrode on the extension cord, but it also made a good amount of chlorine, which I was a little bit surprised about. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot more than trying to mingle with other people. So even before I recognized there was such a thing, I was probably already, I was always solosexual. I just never realized that. I really loved experiences, romances toward myself. I think I was 13, 14 years old at this time. When I was 16 years old, I discovered that I used to be addicted to all sorts of junk food. And I discovered that I would feel so much better if I just completely stopped eating it. The sugar, MSG, trans fats. My parents would try to tell me that a little bit of it is okay, but why bother? Every time somebody tells me something is okay in moderation, I got two questions. First of all, why does it bother you what I eat? And second, I'm happier not eating it altogether, right? And it's not like there's a benefit to taking it in moderation, right? If you want to argue that you got cancer and you need chemotherapy drugs, but too much is going to be bad for you, just take it in moderation. Okay, I see why you're doing it. There's no benefit to drinking one or two sodas in moderation, or I guess if there's a social issue, but then why does it bother you what I eat? And so people thought I was antisocial for not eating it, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. And I weighed that a lot heavier than what other people thought I was eating. Unfortunately, now that it intersects with my career, it doesn't work so well, right? When it was, oh my God, my girlfriend ditches me for not eating junk food. Oh, I don't need her anyway, right? I wish I could say the same thing about jobs and careers, right? Unfortunately, I can't at the moment, right? And that's a tough one. When I was working on my PhD, I got pressured into a relationship. But you know what? During the time I was with all the girls that I was dating, a lot of times I had to compromise myself, right? I had to, yesterday I recorded a video about one time a girl had called me and I had to frantically wash my clothes in the bathroom, and then I left my socks in the microwave by mistake, and my classmates were very upset at me. A lot of times I was just happier going out by myself, right? So it turns out I was probably solosexual. I've probably been solosexual since at least I was 13. I just didn't know what it was, right? Unfortunately, a lot of society still doesn't know what it means, right? By the way, leave a comment. Why does it bother you that you want your friends to eat certain things in moderation, right? So I don't know. Every time I tell people, oh, no soda for me, and people think, a glass of soda isn't going to kill you. Yeah, but no glasses of soda doesn't kill anybody either. And that makes me happier, right? So why does that bother you? Feel free to leave a comment, because I really want to know the answer to that. Uh, just realize that for some people, no soda is just happier than one soda in moderation, right? And do you not want people to make a choice that makes them happier? I don't know. Feel free to leave a comment about that. When I think I was 7 or 8 years old, I used to hate it when my parents would visit their friends, and then I would be stuck with their friends' kids, and I'd have to explain things, right? I have quirks in my life. I can't remember what the different quirks were, but I really loved it when I was home alone. I especially loved it. For some time, my mom took a job at a department store, Hill's department store, which was in Pittsburgh. They're out of business, obviously. Nowadays, she would probably be working at a Walmart if she were working. And I really loved the time that I was alone. I didn't have to explain to anybody anything. I just did it my own way, even if it was a bizarre way, right? Anyway, like for example, studying my dad's chemistry books. I didn't have to explain to anybody what I was doing. Right? You can imagine, you're 10 years old, you're reading a college textbook. People are going to ask you a lot of questions, right? I didn't have to explain to anybody any of that, right? So scratch that. I've been solosexual since I was 7. I just didn't realize it, right? I first used the word solosexual when I was 23. I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and I had a good time going out by myself. Go watch my videos about that. I talk about that every year when we get close to the anniversary. All right. Think about it. If you're solosexual, please come out, because if you don't, the rest of the world is not going to understand it, and they're going to revolve around their heterosexual, like almost like a gang, right? And it becomes very cult-like, right? Where I work, almost everybody is heterosexual, and it's become very cult-like. That if you want to do something that doesn't rhyme with that, not like people will hate you for it, but they fail to recognize differences, right? I wish we had training on solosexuality like we do for a lot of other things, right?